Yoo-hoo, we're back. We're back, Elton! We're back! Welcome back to London. Man, does it feel good to be here. Don't get me wrong, I love Canada, I love my family and friends, and I really love where I live. If you missed any of the last 4 episodes that I just recapped in the intro, go check them out after this episode. Great Canadian content. To wrap up the recent Canadian Not So Abroad edit of A Canadian Abroad, I wanted to come on here and share with you the top 3 best and worst portions of my trip. The reunions are at the top of our best moments list. Obviously, reuniting with our dog after 6 months of being away from her was brilliant.
Cody! Cutie! Come here! Come here! You're so cute! Your dad?
Oh, yes! Oh!
Your dad? How is he?
He was sleeping.
How is he, girl?
We also had the pleasure of attending several family gatherings around the holidays and a Halloween party hosted by good friends of ours. It gave us the perfect opportunity to get together with our crew, spend some quality time, and catch up. The outdoors takes our second spot. It's just different in the Great North. And going to Thunder Bay always helps me reconnect and feel grounded. I also tend to come back with bruises all over me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I think I can climb rocks and stuff. And the home feeling takes our final spot. The nostalgia, the memories, the excitement of returning home, all that good stuff, it just comes flooding right back. Sure, it can be overwhelming sometimes, and it certainly makes it hard to leave again. But it's a really unique and special feeling, one that only comes when your heart has connected to places and people, and I love it. And now for our top worst moments. Overwhelmingly takes the first spot, the renovations. Quick backstory for you. When Eric and I decided to move to London, we also decided to keep our home. We did not sell. We had a tenant in the basement for over 5 years who decided to stay. We moved in family members into our upstairs unit. All was going swell. Shortly before I arrived in Canada, we learned that we would need to find 2 new tenants for our house. This meant that some major changes would need to happen. This includes, but not limited to, renovating and painting the better half of the 1,400 square foot basement apartment, converting an upstairs closet to accommodate laundry, paint touch-ups throughout the upstairs unit, fixing random odds and ends all over the place, hiring a property management company, a contractor, plumber, and electrician. Nothing. Do not put your paint tray directly behind your step stool. Now I'm ready. Great. Currently, Coffee Crisp is getting me through.
That's it. Get your leg up there. There you go. You're welcome. Are you okay? Poor little guy. Are you hurt? It won't hurt you, don't worry. You say hi? Okay, bye.
I would be very happy if I don't have to paint another wall, baseboard, or door for the remainder of my adult life. Number 2 on the worst list, there's never enough time. 40 days sounds like a lot of time, but partly due to the previous point, renovations, and also due to my inability to socialize for long periods of time. We didn't get to see everyone and do all of the things that we really wanted to do. If you've lived abroad before, you will know this struggle well. It's really not easy, and this is one of those realities of living abroad that takes some getting used to. And I really think that Eric and I will get better at it as we do more trips home. And last on the worst list is the jet lag. To my surprise, I really struggled with jet lag. It didn't hit me right away. I think I stayed awake for about 23 hours when I first arrived, and the jet lag started to creep in after about the 48-hour mark. If you have any tips for me with jet lag, please feel free to leave some feedback in the comments. I'd really like to hear what works for you. I'm not used to the east-west travel situation. Typically, I'm traveling north-south. It's like a whole different ball game. Our trip back to London was easy breezy. I almost wish that something happened so I could come on here and tell you about it. And I recognize that this isn't everyone's experience when they're traveling as of late. But once again, Eric and I both had great flights, and our airport experiences were fine. We took the 10:20 flight from Toronto Pearson Airport, arriving in London Heathrow at 10:30 a.m. local time the following day. The longest lineup we encountered was at the check-in desk at British Airways, and this was mostly due to the fact that passengers hadn't completed their paperwork. Normally we would use the kiosk to check in, but because we booked our flight separately, we really wanted to sit together, and they went ahead and put us together, no additional fees. Our flight was on time, about 3/4 full, and we had an empty seat between us. Perfect for lounging. Security and immigration checks when we arrived in London Heathrow were super fast. They have an electronic immigration passport check system, which really speeds up the process. It's a bit of an unnerving process your first time. If you have a specific designated passport according to the signage, you enter a specific line. Then you're corralled into these stations, and each station has a little gate. When the light turns green, it's your turn. You enter the gate. That gate then closes behind you. You're kind of boxed into this little kiosk. You scan your passport, a camera does some funky business in front of you, and you wait until a green light appears in front of you, where the gates then open, allowing you to leave your little cubbyhole. Eric's was a tad delayed, and I could see him starting to get a little bit frazzled, but all was good. We left, we hopped on the tube for what honestly feels like forever. We arrived safely in our flat, and I proceeded to make my way to bed, where my pillow was eagerly awaiting me, and I took a nice long nap until about 4. Now that I'm feeling refreshed, and hopefully the jet lag does not catch up with me on this end, I cannot wait to get back to creating London content for you. Until then, take care of yourselves. Don't forget to give that like button some love, and I'll see you next week.